All right, Britt, so day 3, stage 3. How'd it go at the front today?
It was good. The pace, of course, with fresh blood in the pack was pretty speedy up the first climb, and Steph went off with the lead guys right away, and I was like, I can't do that. So settled in with most of the pack that I was with yesterday, and then she eventually dropped off the front group and kind of rolled back to us. The first descent, she overcooked a turn, had to stop, and lost the group, so then we didn't see her for a long time. Just rolling, working with the group for, the next 20 miles. Went through the aid, and they stopped, so I stopped with them. She rolled through the aid, so then caught us. And, we went up. There was a gentleman's agreement, apparently, in my group that we were going to have a truce down Geddes. So we went super slow down Geddes and then regrouped at the bottom.
What's Geddes? What's that like?
That was that chunky double track. It's pretty chunky. So like the most fun single track-ish descent. Went really slow down. So then we were all together, 40 miles in, and I just hung out till Collier, tacked around the lake, had a lot of fun, ripping around the little bermy spots and getting as rowdy as you can in a gravel race.
It's all pretty buff single
It's pretty
track
buff.
through there with
Yeah.
rolly.
Yep.
A little loose.
Some cool bridges, and then there's a gravel climb. If you've done any TSC events, you know exactly what's coming after the lake. Gravel climb into paved climb, and just hammered it out from there, hoping to collect as much time as I could. And I think I got another 2.5 minutes on the
How
day,
bad is that the road climb by the highway for someone who's actually in shape?
It's not bad, especially when you're not doing it on a mountain bike. It's so much faster on a gravel bike. But it felt good. I was feeling my legs the first half just from effort yesterday, and was hoping to add some time if I could today, and it worked out.
All right. Feeling pretty safe going into stage 4.
I mean, anything can happen. Hopefully it's uneventful, and there's plenty of climbing, but it doesn't look bad. They're spaced out. Today felt like there was 2 5-mile climbs, and it was like you hit a 5-mile climb, have a good downhill, go right back at another 5. So it doesn't seem as quite as spicy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
See you out there. All right. Gordon Wadsworth, you showed up here a few days into TS.
I'm a 2-dayer.
Gravel epic.
Fresh legs.
Yeah, so fresh guy up in the lead pack today. How's it going?
It's great, man. We haven't done as much racing this year, and I really missed the gravel shreds, man. It's been a really it's so beautiful up here, and I don't know that everybody knows it. There's a lot of riders out there today. Maybe they do. But it was awesome. Super good. It's the right distance, I think, up here that you can go really hard. But because it's not forever, it's not Wilderness 101 that's going to take you 9 hours. It's 3 hours, jam as hard as you can, go good and hard.
You guys are doing 60 miles a day, right? Something like that?
Yeah, I think the past 2 days have been about 60, and today we were right at 60, and a little less than 100 feet per mile too. Though it still feels like you're constantly climbing.
So you're averaging 20 miles an hour?
Yeah, something like that.
Can't do math, but
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Darn
How'd that feel out
fast.
there today, riding with those guys?
Great, man. It felt awesome. I felt kind of like I always do. Keith and I were both talking about this. We both just feel like we're at this level where we just are pretty darn fast all the time. And maybe we would be better to be peaks and valleys, but man, it was good today. We had a great group. Flew today.
All right, so every time we saw you, the group was together, pretty much. At first you were dangling because you had some little issues.
I dropped a chain
So,
on
yeah,
a long, fast downhill, and it was great.
So we saw you dangling, then we saw you you were actually pulling the group, and then last time we saw you were all still together, so I guess you guys didn't finish together, so what happened there?
So when I pulled, when you guys saw me and I was pulling, throttling pretty good, I was trying to ditch the other 2-dayer who was with us. And we all could tell, his body language, he was a little bit worked and a little bit notchy.
Kind of like a blue kit?
Blue bike plates kit, yeah. So I was kind of trying to unattach him a little bit, and we did. Mission accomplished. And then 5 of us, me being the only 2-dayer at that point, so sort of mission accomplished for the day. We were riding, and then we neutral through the aid station. We just kind of everybody did their thing. I started soft pedaling up a little bit because I was full and ready to go, and then we all started to catch, and immediately Eddie went to the front and did this gnarly going up so it was this stair steppy thing. and he would do this like thresholdy at the bottom of the stair step, threshold in the middle, and then like pop right at the top. And it was just like, oh, every time you'd have to get on the gas, like right at the crest. And he would do that, and it just, the climb never like let up. And at the very, very top, like Keith was right behind me and Jeff was behind him, and I was maybe like 10, 15 feet off, and it was like, oh, you know, and then we bomb in that super fun, sketchy, rocky descent. I think everybody was banging rims through there, and it was just like really fun. I have some test tires that are supposed to be really bulletproof, so it was like, great, like let's work these bad dogs. And it was great. I kind of like led up there because I didn't have the route today. We kind of came short notice, so I didn't have the route, and I was like, am I good? Like I was waiting to see somebody behind me, so I did. And then I saw Keith. I managed to keep like a gap ahead of him, but behind Eddie and Kerry, and rolled in maybe a minute ahead of them. But that was kind of the goal at that point. It was like, okay, like you did the teamwork thing, you did the road racing, like, you know, put in a little solo effort, and the single track was so fun. It's PA
Around the
is
lake
like,
there? Or?
Yeah, around the lake. It's like two track really. I mean, it's like, you know, nothing up here single track wise is buff. That's buff, and it's super smooth, and it's really flowy, and you can kind of pop on stuff. You can berm out on things, and on the gravel bike, that's like a hoot. It's so much fun. So that was really cool. It was an awesome day. I was stoked. Third on the stage, which is irrelevant in the 4 days. First 2 day. And Emmy won too. She won her race. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, Keith, what's your last name?
I am Keith Gerarden.
All right, and you're sitting in fourth in the GC
fourth in the GC for the
4
4 day. Yep.
All right, so this is the third day. Yep. Just catch me up real quick. How's your week been going? What's been going on?
So I had a long drive up here on Wednesday, you know, the day before the race started, and I felt like that did not do me any favors. About 8 hours from Chapel Hill. And so I just felt terrible the whole first day. Managed as best I could, but you know, couldn't stay with the front of the race. And Jeff Watts and I rode together for a while, but he gapped me at the end, so put some time into me there. Then yesterday and today, both he and I were able to ride together, you know, better toward the end of the stages. So we've stayed kind of even, losing time to Eddie and Kerry, but feeling like we're riding as competently as we should be able to. Yesterday was you know, easier than the first day, and certainly my legs feeling better. You know, I enjoyed it a lot more. And then today was a tough one with Gordon and a few other folks arriving for the 2-day version, bringing some fresh legs to reinforce the pain. But we had a good solid effort kind of all throughout. I was just barely able to hang on and stick it till the rough patch, the rough descent in the middle of the stage, which was as far as I figured it was reasonable for me to get with the Eddie and Kerry types. And sure enough, you know, they had a small gap going into that, and there's no way I was going to descend it as fast as those guys. So I was comfortable riding the best pace I could hold from there. So, you know, again, lost some time to them today, but stayed even in the GC position, and, you know, certainly felt like I put all that was in my legs out there.
All right, what brings you out to an event like this?
Well, I've done a few of Ryan's races down in the Carolinas, or in North Carolina, and, you know, he was telling me about starting this up. I know of the mountain bike epic in the spring from Kerry's videos and from Gordon and other folks who've come up here. I'd never had the opportunity, but I had a super busy summer, and had, you know, after talking to Ryan a couple months ago, I had decided that this was going to be my one little summer vacation before the fall starts up. So I made it happen, and, you know, been really glad that we've had nice weather so far, and been able to get up here and enjoy the scenery, riding in a different place. Of course, it'd be nice if I got to enjoy the scenery a little more. Don't have a lot of time to look around when you're trying to hang on, but, you know, we're making it work.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
All right, Kerry Werner, so I do not know what happened in the end today. It sounds like you and Eddie got away from everybody else by the end.
Yeah, after aid 2, there was like a little climb, cool double track climb up to the Geddes descent, which was like the gnarly descent on the day, and Just maybe like 2 minutes before the top, we got a gap and rode over the top together, and then kind of went down the other side like pretty fast. So we probably extended our gap some, and then then we were just rolling together. I was trying to lead on some climbs to be like, set the pace high enough that he didn't feel like he had to come around, but not high enough that maybe he wanted to go, So like I was saving myself, and so I led a lot of the climbs, and then we hit the single track. That was sweet. We had a lot of fun on there. So it was like a nice like rest period because it had a speed limit and there wasn't like passing or anything, so that was nice and chill. And then I forgot about those last 2 punchy climbs before the finish climb today, and managed to make it through that. And then as soon as we hit the final climb, Eddie just started throwing haymakers at me, and we turned right, and he did like a huge sprint up the first steep pitch, and I held on, and he came to a stop and like literally stopped pedaling and just kind of looked over and laughed like this is gonna be something. And then he just kept trying to attack me up the final climb, and luckily it was punchy enough that he couldn't get away, and the climb, like, he was attacking into a headwind too, so went over the top together. And then I knew that I just had to come into camp first, hit the last corner first, and there wouldn't really be much room to sprint around. So yeah, I got the stage win.
Get the stage win.
Yeah, that was sick.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you call the final climb? Or is it the road?
The road climb is
Okay.
the final climb, yeah. And it like kicks pretty steep at the first bit, then it flattens out, and then it does a nice gradual kick up to the top, and usually it's a headwind into it. So it's like a climb you can't really like ride somebody off your wheel because it's not super steep, and then that headwind sucks. So he kept trying to like throw those punchy attacks at me, but that's what cross bikers do, So that was much better than if he had just like set a nice consistent pace and like kind of just like slowly hurt me.
Yeah, having the 2-dayers come in fresh today, did that affect things at all in the group?
Not really. I mean, there was 2 more guys in the group, Gordon, and then I don't know the guy in the bike flights kid's name, but 2 other guys in the group. And yeah, it was fun because we were sharing work, and like today was especially speedy, so it was nice to just have a couple more people in the rotation. Yeah.
Right. What brings you out to an event like this? Why do you come out to like a 4-day gravel stage race? What's the appeal for you?
Well, I mean, for me, it's like fit really nicely in with training, and I'm doing more of these gravel races this year, and I really like this distance. I also know the area. It's a really cool area. I've done the mountain bike race here a bunch of times and kind of familiar with some of the gravel roads. So I just thought it'd be fun to race those same areas, just not on single track, and it is pretty fun.
Have you adapted to being a gravel racer? What do you still think is your strongest suit? Is it cross?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's just the effort really suits me. The technicality of it really suits me. So, I mean, gravel's fun, and I'm starting to get the hang of it and feel comfortable with it or whatever, but these shorter races are definitely better for that. Still wrapping my head around the 7-hour plus efforts.
What's a 7-hour plus effort?
Oh, the 140-mile races or the 150 races. Yeah, they're just long.
Yeah. All right, Eddie.
Yeah.
Give me your day 3 synopsis in 1 minute or less. No, you can go.
Okay.
It's all right.
No, it was fun this Saturday, so we have some of the 2-day racers coming in today to mix it up, which made things a little bit more interesting. We had a slightly bigger lead group, and we were rolling really fast for the first half of today. Gordon Wadsworth was in there, which was fun. He's another Virginia boy. And then after the aid station, I put in a dig, and it was just me and Kerry after that. And but yeah, just enjoyed the whole day. Just an amazing single track section around the lake. And then finally, when we came back into the campground, I gave it everything I had to drop Kerry on the final road paved climb. But he stuck with me and got me in the sprint. So, yep,
right.
Second place on the day, but GC hopes are still alive.
Nice, dude. Thanks
Cool.
a lot.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right, so Elizabeth, so third, or you second on the day today?
Third.
Or third on the day?
Third, yeah. I rode with Libby and Liz for a long time, so that was really exciting because I've never ridden in a group this whole week, so that was thrilling and an awesome working group, super fun. The course was amazing today.
Yeah, what was it like out there?
It was nice and mixed. There was awesome road, and great, fun, fast single track, which was exciting, and I didn't know that was coming up, so that came as a really great surprise. And yeah, it was a fun day with a lot of interactions with people, so I was psyched about that.
Or what's kind of your cycling background? What do you kind of identify as a cyclist? Like
Well,
mountain bikers, crosser?
I'm a mountain biker,
Yeah.
and then this year I got a gravel bike in March, so this is my first year riding anything on the road, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, why did you decide to do this one?
Well, I was actually registered to do Overland, and then I came and did Wilderness, so I was kind of on the Pennsylvania radar, and saw this come up, and I was like, oh, a stage race? I've never done that. So it was really appealing, and decided to come down, and psyched I did. It's like amazing, small, strong group of women, and tons of learning. Really fun event. Really pretty sweet.
All right, so it's Chris. What's your last name?
Lane.
All right, and it seems like you're sort of like you've been hanging out with like the elite women in the stage race.
Yeah,
I
I sort of like I'm not gonna be in the front of the pack with the big hitters or anything like that. But I'm usually right around the lead women and have a good time, and like when they're alone, kind of have fun helping them and friends. So
we've often seen you alone out there.
Yeah,
So what's the percentage of time you spent totally alone during the race?
probably 50% of the time. I get dropped pretty quickly from the lead group, and then like I'm a little bit faster than the next group's over. So it's just like sit there in a lot of alone time, and then when some of the people drop off in the front, then get to play some bikes. And I'm a little bit of a diesel engine. I can pull some people and then workhorse my way over. So.
Yeah, what's going through your head while you're riding out there for like 3+ hours every day?
I'm used to doing like 10, 12-hour races, so like you're pretty much alone a lot in those races, so it's pretty normal.
All right, what do you thought of this 3 days in? What do you thought of what have you thought of the courses so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic. These courses have been beautiful. The third day today was the best. I'm a mountain biker, so it was much more chunky. We did 5 miles of single track today, and it's man, the course has been awesome. I highly recommend it, and I will be back next year. It was super cool. Yeah, man.
Thanks, man. So Steph, you're saying you're not feeling well, or you're feeling sick?
No.
Or is that from the
Yeah,
effort?
that was just, it was a super hard day. So I had one move today that I could make, which was go all in on the first hill and pray that I could make a faster group than than Britt and I were rolling with yesterday. Almost got there. Got dropped off there about maybe a half mile from the top of the climb, and then was in no man's land alone going down up the last part of the climb and down the descent until Britt's group caught me. Not too surprising given how even we are. Overcooked one of the turns a little bit, lost that group, ended up back in no man's land. And was riding alone, I think, until past the first aid station when Chris caught me. And so I at least had someone. And we were not going easy, so that was good to have someone to go a good pace with. And traded pulls, dying 1,000 deaths in my head. Until the aid station when I caught sight of the yellow jersey through the trees, and I was like, I need to go. Found it in me to close up to the gap. So back with Britt there. We made it through that first kind of bumpy descent all as a group, so I was happy with that. And then through the rest of it, and then got to the single track loop, and I've owned my mountain bike for less than a year, and Britt has a little experience on me in that. So single track loop, I wiped out twice, which I feel like that means I paced it about right. Like I'm pushing my limits, but didn't hurt myself. So, did what I could do there. Lost time, but tomorrow's another day, and gonna keep pedaling as hard as I can, just like I've been doing.
All right, good stuff. Thank you.